Thank you. All right. Well, the House Judiciary Committee is holding its second hearing on the border crisis right now. The first one was in Washington at the beginning of the month. Today's hearing is taking place at the southern border in Yuma, Arizona. Here's what the county supervisor told the committee moments ago.
Since President Biden took office, we saw a huge surge, a record number of people crossing illegally from 106 different countries. 17 of those countries are designated as special interest because of the negative relationship with the United States and a desire to do harm. And it has steadily continued these many months.
All right. Joining us now, Wyoming Congresswoman and member of the House Judiciary Committee, Harriet Hageman, who just stepped out of the hearing to be with us. Congresswoman, good to see you. You heard Jason Jones talk about these tools being taken away from the Border Patrol. What are you guys hoping to learn from today's hearing?
Well, I think it's a matter of transparency and bringing the message and the voice of these folks down in Yuma and on the border to the rest of the country and back to Washington, D.C., so that we can try to force the Biden administration to actually start carrying out the law. One of the things that we hear over and over again down here is that the wall works. The wall as designed and implemented by President Trump works. We don't need new laws. We don't need to be talking about changes to our immigration laws. We need to enforce the laws that are on the books. I find it interesting that they're taking away one of our most important surveillance tools because, and claiming that it's a lack of funding. It's not a lack of funding. They waste money on ridiculous things every day of the week. It is because they are intentionally trying to avoid being accountable for the disaster that they have created on our southern border.
So it's interesting. You say you want to take that message back to Washington. I would have hoped that some Democrats on your committee would have actually gone with you to see this firsthand. They're not going, and they're claiming that, you know, this is a political stunt and that they weren't invited. What can you guys do to get Democrats to actually see what's happening, the reality there on the border?
Well, I think they've made a terrible mistake by abdicating their responsibility and not attending an official Judiciary Committee hearing. They were given plenty of notice. The rules require that they be given 1 week. They were given 3. This is just yet another example that the Democrats are not capable of debating the issues. They're not capable of defending the decisions and the policies coming out of the Biden administration. So instead of engaging in the discussion, instead of meeting with the people in Yuma and the farmers and growers and producers who are operating down here on the border, instead of actually engaging with them on a substantive conversation about what is happening, they simply avoid it. They're just like the balloon. They just simply disappear.
Let me ask you this. You know, by the way, I will tell you this. I think the statement from Jerry Nadler, the Democrat on there, says, you know, a lot of these Democrats had previous commitments. I think Jim Jordan and the team there should go through the list of Democrats, see what they actually were doing today, because I guarantee you that's not what was actually happening and that they didn't have other commitments. That's just my opinion. I do want to move to this because I know you've commented on the past about DirecTV. You've said that as a member of the House Weaponization Subcommittee, you're considering the extent to which government is working with third parties to suppress amendments to the First Amendment rights of folks. Why is it that you, in your opinion, that DirecTV deplatforms conservative outlets like Newsmax, and they say it's only a business decision then, but liberal channels are never removed? I just can't think of an instance when it's a business decision to remove a liberal station.
I'm going to say it again. They cannot debate the substance of the issues that are important to the citizens of this country. So they simply either do not engage with us or they find a way to suppress our ability to speak. The reason why this is so important is because you not only have a First Amendment right to speak, you also have a First Amendment right to hear. I have a First Amendment right to learn what people on Newsmax and what the reporters on Newsmax are saying. And when we have evidence from the Twitter files demonstrating that the federal government was conspiring with these social media companies and others to basically violate the First Amendment via surrogacy, then it is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. We need to get to the bottom of why they've decided to deplatform Newsmax.
I agree. I want to thank you and your fellow committee members for being on the border today. I think it's important, and I appreciate you calling attention to it. If not for those actions, it would get no attention. So thank you for being there and doing what you're doing. I appreciate you doing that and also sharing it with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.